everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope that you are ready for another reframing reading. We're going to use the psychological technique of reframing negative thoughts in order to have more confidence within us and a healthier internal landscape. If you like my content, please check if you're subscribed or not, because it seems like YouTube has been doing this for a while. It has been unsubscribing people from my channel and from other channels as well. So please check if you're subscribed. And if you'd like, you can also check out my Patreon for extra content and contact me via my website if you'd like a reading from me. So let's jump in. I have recently created a poll on my channel, and I asked you guys which negative thought you wanted to reframe, and the winner was I will never be successful. So we are going to work with this thought today. We're going to twist it around, change it, mold it, and capitalize on it. So this is what I love about this reading type, and what I love about the tarot in general is that you can use it to turn a negative, a weakness, into strength and spiritual capital. So I'm very excited. Before we jump in, I've noticed a very sad comment under this poll that I created. One YouTube user, commented that the negative thought that they are battling with is they wish they were never born. And when I saw that, I felt like a punch in the face. That's such it's such a powerful, evil, negative thought that I wanted to do something for this person. I don't think we can reframe this thought because it's just it's so horrible that the only thing that we can do for this person, they go by the username Saint. So what we can do for Saint is, if you guys are up for it, we can concentrate our energy in this moment, in the here and now, before we jump into the reading itself. And we can all focus our mental and spiritual energy on sending some spiritual support their way. So Saint, if you're watching this, in the next couple of moments, we're going to be connecting with you energetically. And if you'd like, if you whoever watching this, if you like praying, if you know how to pray, feel free to use this moment to pray for this person, for Saint. If you're not into praying, then you can just follow my lead. And we are going to send some positive energy their way. So with the power of all of these different souls interconnected, linked in this virtual space and virtual time, all of us participating in this video together now, We are all thinking of you, Saint. We are all with you. We don't know what you look like. We don't know who you are. We don't know who any of us really are. And it doesn't even matter. Because what brings us here is the love of the universe. The love of this strange and mysterious existence. So we are here, we are gathered here to improve ourselves and to go deeper into life. And we are very happy that you were born. It's an amazing opportunity to be here. So we're just sending you some peace, some peaceful, relaxing energies. We're all thinking of you. We're all connecting with you. And we're all encouraging you to just hold on. There's nothing needed here. There's no need to do anything spectacular. Just breathe in and breathe out with us in this moment. And we're asking you to have the openness to something else, something different, something surprising, showing up on your path in the near future. Everybody, thank you. Thank you for thinking of Saint. Thank you for sending this positive energy to them and to everybody else who is struggling with the same thought. And if you have friends or people that you know who are struggling with the thoughts like this, the best thing that you can do for them is to just be there for them. To just breathe with them. To breathe and to hope. And miracles can happen any day, anytime. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Saint. Let's move on to the reading. So, the reading itself is going to work with the idea of I will never be successful. So let's investigate. Let's investigate the essence of this thought. What is at the core? What is the main message of this thought? What's going on here? Okay. The next card is going to tell us about the impact of this negative thought on us. So when we think this, what does it do? What is the effect? Now, moving on. We are going to see how the tarot proposes that we restructure and reframe this thought in order for it to serve us instead of harm us. Okay. And what the reframed version of the same thought is going to do for you, what the impact, what the influence of this reframed thought is going to be. All right. So let's see. Let's see what the cards are saying. The Four of Cups, unsurprisingly, is at the core of I will never be successful. Okay. So right off the bat, I can tell that this is a deeply emotionally upsetting and disempowering statement. So it's all about the emotions. Cups, they are connected with the water element, and they represent your feelings. All right. What is the influence? The influence is Two of Cups. Interesting. All right. All right. Okay. The reframed version of the same thought. The Two of Pentacles. And the effect of changing your way of thinking is the Magician. Wonderful. Okay. Awesome. So, where do we start? Let's start by analyzing the thought as it is. I will never be successful. So what this card is saying to me is, I will never be successful because I have no power over it. I have no power over my fate. Success is not up to me. Success is not available to me. Success is not under my control. So, the Four of Cups, if you look at the illustration in this card, you can see that it's about a sort of emotional paralysis, a type of learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is a term from psychology, and it basically refers to the lack of incentive, the lack of motivation to do anything when you are put into an environment where your actions have unpredictable outcomes. So, for example, a lab rat that is placed in an environment where they have to push a button in order to receive some sort of reward. And it is inconsistent whether they get what they pushed the button for. If that happens often enough, they press the button, the reward fails to come. They press the button again, and for some reason, they are rewarded. But then, for the next 3 or 4 tries again, nothing comes of their attempt. If they spend enough time in such an environment of unpredictable outcomes, they become conditioned to want to do nothing. If your actions in this world do not have predictable consequences, if you cannot plan around your actions, then that leads to apathy. It leads to a lack of willingness to fight. So at the core of this thought of I will never be successful, there's less of a desire to be successful, so it does not come from a desire to be successful, actually, but it comes from a fear of unpredictable outcomes and the disappointment that sort of experience generates. So it is very important to point out that most of you who chose this topic, most of you who feel like one of the most important negative thoughts that you experience is, I will never be successful. The reason you are tortured by this thought is not the fact that you want to be so successful. It's not the fact that you have a hunger for success that is unquenchable. It is a fear of failure that drives this, really. So why that is, it's probably different for everybody. But for some reason, the world has shown us, society has conditioned us to believe that in order to have any sort of success, in order to have more predictability and to be able to plan, we need a relationship. So this is the effect, the Two of Cups. Otherwise a lovely card, but in this context, it refers to dependence on relationships in general. So the idea of success would be equated with the idea of control and creativity. If I look at the magician on the other side, and what could be different once you start thinking about this differently, the best thing that you can create here is more confidence and a renewed interest in your own creativity. But like I said, the effect of this Four of Cups state of mind, this conditioning to not trust yourself, to not trust your actions to bring you success, what it creates is a sense of fear of loneliness. It's a fear of making decisions by yourself. It leads to a safety in numbers sort of mentality. So even if you come to the conclusion that the best pathway forward would be, let's say, path A, but everybody else is running towards path B, the tendency is to distrust your own self and trust other people. So what it really comes down to is a lack of trust in yourself, a lack of faith in yourself. because the environment in which you've been shaped to be who you are, the environment was not giving you a fair chance to experiment with your actions. So there's something lacking there, some emotional connection with yourself is definitely lacking here. And I think this is also probably a generational thing. The failure of living up to our own potential, the constant pressure of comparing ourselves to other people, the constant pressure of wanting to work against the odds. And yeah, so the message is, it doesn't matter what I do, I cannot predict the efficiency or the likelihood of my actions leading to a successful outcome. So that's where an attraction, or rather a substitute to real self-confidence, manifests in the shape of toxic, codependent relationships. It's when you give up on your own idea of success and you invest your trust in the visions of other people. And there is a difference between starting a relationship on the basis of I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing, and we're both working towards our idea of success. And maybe those two intersect at one point or another, but they don't necessarily have to. So there's a difference between that sort of attitude and you and I, we must have the same idea of success. And we need to break each other into thinking that we want the same thing, which is probably what everybody else wants. So even the definition of success, the concept of success, becomes something that is defined by the other person, be it a relationship or society in general, other people in general. So the idea behind I will never be successful is this feeling of I need others to tell me what success is. I need others to fail with. So it is all purely emotional. So I want you to notice this. Now, if you're thinking about success, probably most of you are thinking of career or some other type of material success, stability, or perhaps fame, or some sort of other manifestation of a good life, a good, stable, and productive life. So both of these cards are cups, water-based. So something is fishy here. Is this really about success per se? Is it really about being stable and having material foundations to our lives, or is this something more interconnected with our traumas, our internal emotional states? I would argue that in its in its essence, as it is now, as it exists in our minds right now, this idea of I will never be successful, it is full of emotionally charged, traumatic elements that have nothing to do with success. So that's the interesting part here is that success, if we're thinking about the traditional concept of success, being successful and powerful in your profession, earning a lot of money, or being respected, those things are somehow weirdly interlinked with emotional gratification, which earnestly, having lots of money and having career stability or success in your career, that has very little to do with how safe you are emotionally. So there's a search for a safe haven, which I think is a separate issue, but somehow it is being projected onto this topic. Now, what I'm seeing here in the cards, what is really happening here that can help you separate these issues and help you become more successful per se, which is not necessarily going to bring you more peace, or it's not necessarily going to make you feel like you're complete. It's not going to help solve your emotional issues, but it is going to make you more successful. It is going to raise your confidence. It is going to perhaps feed your excitement about life. But there are certain things, certain insecurities that it's not going to be helpful for. And so we need to proceed with this understanding in mind. You can be successful, but success can never cure your sadness. So, if you still want to be successful after this, here's the reframed version of this idea. Never is an interesting word in this sentence, and that is the weakness of it. There are several ways you can rephrase this negative thought that will be more truthful, more relevant, and more valid. You can say, I am not successful. That can be true. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because what we are looking at here, the Two of Pentacles, Pentacles representing the material realm. So we have now transitioned into a completely different ball game. This is a different dimension of the human experience. We're no longer talking about emotions here. We're talking about pragmatic stuff. We're talking about stability, career, and money, so your financial background. So never is the odd one out here. I will not be successful. I will not always be successful. I will be at some points successful, and then I'll go back to being unsuccessful again. Is somewhere along the lines of how you can reframe this thought, just completely getting rid of the extreme element of never. and playing around with the same sentence and using different ways to report on what's going on with you and what is potentially going to happen to you in the future. So you can say, I will not be successful this year. Or you can say, I will be successful perhaps this year. Both of these sentences, although, there's this belief, I guess, in the esoteric community that you're not supposed to think negative thoughts. I do not subscribe to that. First of all, you cannot really control your thoughts, but you can think about your thoughts. And the negativity comes from the negative connotations that you ascribe to certain ideas. So saying I will not be successful this year is not necessarily a bad thing to think, because perhaps it is just a realistic thinking. Let's say you're starting out with a new career, or you're building your own platform, or you're honing your craft. You're just starting out with something. Telling yourself, I will not be successful this year, does not necessarily have to give you a bad feeling. There's no judgment in it. It is just recognizing the incredible difficulty of having any sort of breakthrough in any career. It's just that being successful at anything is incredibly hard, and not being successful is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. So the binary model of the Two of Pentacles that is represented here, it's about the ups and downs. It's about the two sides of the same coin that are infinitely changing, that are just, it's just a pattern that has always existed, that is visible anywhere you look. It's the ebb and flow of life that exists in economics, in the stock market, in natural phenomena, in your moods. Everything has this binary quality to it. And so recognizing that just saying that I will not be successful does not mean that you will never be successful. So important to understand and respect that a period of unsuccessful attempts does not indicate an eternity of unsuccessfulness. As a matter of fact, you cannot stay forever unsuccessful. It's just not a thing. There's no eternity in that way. After bad periods of time or bad phases in your career, there's always good upside events coming. It's just how it works. And telling yourself that I might be successful this year, I might not be, does it really matter? Am I doing what I feel like is going to give me a sense of control, that is going to bring me more pride, more independence, more responsibility? There's a need here to detach from outcome which is exactly the reason why, this attachment to a certain outcome and the disappointment when it doesn't happen, that's at the core of the bitterness of the Four of Cups. Now, the Two of Pentacles is a card that acknowledges the constant flux, the never-ending, rapidly changing terrain of life. It is, if you want to be honest with yourself, it is really like that. It is never, you can never say that I will forever be successful. Why could you then say I will never be successful? So just by that same logic, if you really investigate, the belief that things can remain a constant, if you really investigate and scrutinize this thought, you will find that, yes, change is everything, and everything is changing forever, and success comes and goes. So I will be successful at some point, but is that really what I'm looking for? Is that really the point? If it is, I will get what I want at some point. I just need to be patient. But if not, even if the point comes when I'm successful, I will still be left with some sort of yearning. But I will be successful. It is something that I can say. It's just logical. It makes sense. It is something that I can say with great conviction that I will be successful at some point. And once you tell yourself this, the Magician is activated within you. The Magician is a beautiful, amazing, magical energy. It's a Major Arcana card, and so it has some really great potential to be a life-altering energy. The Magician is all about creating life, co-creating life, if you will, with, the divine principle that is beyond every living and non-organic thing. The Magician collaborates with God, if you'd like to call it God. You can call it anything. I think here on this channel we all know what this means. It's just this presence, this collective soul. So the Magician cooperates, and the Magician's main purpose and main objective is to create something out of nothing. So the Magician, again, is not really interested in emotional stability. So I want to emphasize this. Your success, when it comes, will not bring you peace in that regard, but it will rejuvenate and energize your creativity, your imagination, your ability to manipulate the environment in which you're in, and it can give you that feeling of power back. So if, when it comes to the Four of Cups, if the main thing that bothers you about a lack of success is that it does not give you a choice, at least that's what it feels like, the Magician is here to tell you that once your time of success comes, that feeling of ability to have more control, have more of a say in what happens, it's going to be back. So, if this is what you're after, all it takes is a little bit of patience, because it is evident, it's self-evident, it's unavoidable that a period of more success will come if you are currently feeling unsuccessful. And then that is going to awaken you. It's going to inspire you to become a co-creator again. But, and I want to underline this again, it's not a cure for pain. It's not a cure for emotional traumas. But it is possible. It is possible to have success. It is possible to play more of an active role in the creation of your life. And that point is coming. It is necessarily coming to you. So, I hope this reading helped you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. And I hope to see you in another reading soon. Bye-bye.